Good morning, and thank you for joining me. I'm Heather with Rebel Hearts Coaching, and I was wanting to share with you guys how I bring the moon and the moon cycles into my journey. It's a lot of fun, and as we're kind of gearing up and getting ready for the next new moon, I figured I would go through my last 4 weeks, my last month of the moon cycles, from the new moon to the first quarter, the full, and then the third quarter, and how those kind of have come up and how they've played out in my life. And you'll see as I go through this that, what I have shared previously with my journaling and my card readings, that it really all comes together. It really all builds kind of this bigger story. And so it's a lot of fun when we include different little bits and pieces into our process, because they all kind of, they're like pieces of a puzzle. It's really neat. So anyways, this is going back to the 17th of last month, which was our new moon. And what I do with each new moon is I have two cards. I don't have it next to me. So I will pull an oracle card and then like an affirmation card, and that's kind of like my monthly theme, if you will. And so the cards that I was using last month were the Lantern Oracle and then the Universe Has Your Back deck. And so the first card that I had drawn was called Trusting Tricksters. Pardon me. Right here. And it says, the trickster's only power is your trust, and you are always free to withdraw it. And then my other card was this one here. And it says, I create mindful moments throughout the day, reminding myself that I am love and miracles are natural. And so when I was sitting with these cards, what came to me, what I wrote was, look at what you're putting your trust in. What are you trusting about yourself, about your circumstances, about miracles? When you trust in love and abundance, then all of it will flow from there. And so I had put that I need to withdraw any tendrils of trust that you may have around lack and scarcity. Trust that miracles are natural because you are love. And so really this whole last month has been a lot about, where am I putting my trust? Am I trusting fear, or am I trusting in love? Am I trusting in, the world, or am I trusting in myself? Am I trusting in this is the way it's supposed to be done, or am I trusting in my own intuition? Where am I putting that trust? Because it's so important to pay attention. What are we trusting in, And so from there, what I do is I pull one card, I choose a deck, and then I pull one card for each, the 4 phases of the moon. And so the deck that I had used this go round was the Guardian Angel Messages by Bradley Valentine. And so my first card was 8 of Water. And it says, searching, empowerment, and fulfillment. And so the message in the book said, we know that this may seem like a scary moment in your life. In your heart, you probably know your choice is the absolute right one, but you still have apprehensions. Don't worry. You are not on this path alone. We are with you, and we are excited for your future. Let's go. And so I was like, oh, okay, we got this, right? So I wrote, to move beyond the fear of lack, scarcity, and loss, you must trust that you are love and that miracles are natural. Move with your heart and know that you are safe and that you're not alone. You are taking your power back piece by piece and are growing exponentially. Trust in yourself. Trust in heaven's abundance flowing into and through your life. You got this. And I also look at numbers sometimes. So the number 8 was on this card. And the book that I was using is Angel Numbers by Kyle Gray. And it says, a cycle or pattern is being repeated now so that you understand the lesson. Take time to reflect. All right. So again, this is, okay, you're in a scary moment. We're in a scary moment because this is a lesson. This is a lesson. And it is the scary, the fear around lack and scarcity is what I'm facing. This is just part of my journey here. All right. How am I going to deal with this one? How am I going to face this one? To understand that I don't have to be afraid, that I'm not alone in this, and that it's going to be okay. you know? So that was my new moon, my setting my intentions as far as, all right, I'm going to believe that miracles are just a natural occurrence from that space of love, and that when I can tap into and move from that space of love, I'll see those miracles in my life. And letting go and breaking those patterns of the fear around the lack and the scarcity. So then the following week was the first quarter moon. And so sometimes I'll put, I'll make up my own little affirmations. And so first quarter moon is usually around, kind of like what to do, taking action, that sort of energy. And so I wrote, whatever I choose to do in love. And what I got was the 9 of air. And it says negativity, worry, and sleeplessness. So it says that misplaced focus on your fears and uncertainties lead you to expect the worst. Anticipate only your highest hopes and dreams, and the divine law of attraction will bring them to you. Please don't be so hard on yourself. Ask and we will help calm your fears. Guilt and regret about the past is useless. Let us help you quiet your mind so that you can enjoy peaceful nights of restful sleep. Which at that time, I was going through those nights of, kind of struggling to sleep, because I would keep waking up in these like panic modes, and I would have maybe a half hour or so where my mind is just reeling, and I'm like, oh my god, what am I gonna do, what's going on, like this is just too close for comfort for me to know how this is all gonna pan out and how I'm gonna keep the bills paid, kind of thing, So I wrote, to take action and move forward in love, you must first release all the worry and all the self-judgments. The law of attraction can work for you or against you based on your thoughts and words. Stop expecting the worst. Put your energy into your hopes and dreams so that the universe can respond to them through serendipity, synchronicities, and all kinds of miracles. Don't let the missteps or the bumps in the road make you lose your focus on faith, hope, and love. So again, that focusing and having that intention on the miracles, on love, instead of fear and lack and scarcity. So going to the numbers here, number 9, the energy of the divine is awakening within you. Let your soul do the leading. So what stood out here was let your soul do the leading. Whatever I choose to do in love. And that is my soul. That is what my soul's natural state is love, right? And so letting my soul lead is letting myself come out of the worry, come out of the panic, come out of the old past pattern of freaking out because I don't have answers, because I don't have a solution, because even just yesterday I got another, decline email on where, we went with a different, candidate or whatever for a job, whatever. But anyways, it's kind of like, it's kind of, how do I maintain this? How do I keep this going? How do I keep choosing and moving from that space of love? It's challenging, but what I'm being shown is that as I do, things start to, they really calm down. It's not that the challenges aren't there, it's just there's a sense of ease and peace about them. It's not, I'm not all up in a bunch and freaking out and yelling or cranky or any of that, So the more I move in this, the better it gets. All right, so the next moon phase was a full moon, which was a super moon, so just intense energy. The affirmation that I wrote was, because the full moon is around release, about letting go, I said, I release the idea and belief that life is naturally hard and difficult. With spirit, my life is full of serendipity, synchronicity, and amazing miracles. So just believing that, life isn't hard, it's not difficult, it doesn't have to be, and that's a big one. So just letting that belief go. And sometimes, again, we believe things that we're not necessarily always conscious of. But when we bring that awareness, that's when we can take action with it. That's when we can start really making changes. And so letting that go was important. All right, so my card this time was 4 of Fire. And it says prosperity, contentment, and celebration. And so it said that abundance and a feeling of safety and security are yours. That was my one line from the book on this card. And what I wrote was claim this energetically, and let your soul lead you safely into your life of joy. Let go of worry and walk in trust. Close your eyes and let yourself feel wrapped up in the arms of the angels, safe, secure, and so loved. Feel this deeply. Let your soul remind you of what it is to live and dwell in that space. This will shift the law of attraction in your life from lack and scarcity and pain to prosperity, abundance, and joy. Allow the energy to carry you. Surrender to love. And the number 4 says, let your truth be your teacher. Trust in all that you feel and let your joy lead. And so looking back at my life, looking back even just within the last few years, there was still just a lot of fear, a lot of negativity, a lot of, this just isn't meant to be, or whatever, and I've really had to change that. I've really had to look at, do you really want to believe this? Do you really want to go on like this? And I had to look at myself and say, no, I don't. So how do I change it? What do I do? And so really allowing myself to energetically step into a space that lets me feel safe, because I lived a long life where I didn't feel safe in any aspect, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. I didn't feel safe. And so learning to feel safe within myself, regardless of what I'm facing, has been it's been a huge lesson for me. Huge. And so this is just another reminder of, hey, let go of this belief and this energy around lack and scarcity and pain, and let's move into something different. Let's move into that space of love. Let's move into that space of abundance. Let's move into that space of joy, and let your joy lead. For the longest time, I didn't believe that I was even worthy of following my joy. I didn't even really know what brought me joy. What's fun for me? What's good? I don't know, because I had lived in such a way where I was so used to making whatever someone else wanted more important than what I wanted. And so I've had to learn how to allow my joy to lead. And so, in those moments where I was struggling with sleeping because those panicky thoughts and everything were coming, that was when I really had to practice stopping and letting myself step into the energy of feeling held, of feeling safe, of feeling loved, and being reminded that I'm going to be okay, that it's going to be all right. Some way, in some fashion, somehow, it's going to be all right. And so, that was a big chunk in there too. And so with this last moon phase, the 3rd quarter moon, which is really about, kind of the energy of looking at the past month or whatever, reflecting on what's been working, what isn't working, what shifts or whatever do I need to make for the better. And so my affirmation that I wrote, I said, I choose to trust my heart on my path forward and to believe that my miracles are natural manifestations of my trust in my own heart. And so trusting my own heart has been, a huge thing. And that's been my practice over this last week as we get ready to step into this new moon again. And so the card that I drew here was the 6 of Air. It says relief, hope, and moving on. And it says, keep your eyes on the future and let go of the past. Embrace every positive thing that happens now, no matter how small. And so I wrote, the only way forward is to focus forward. The past can only repeat itself if you drag it along with you. That old pattern is breaking. Let the old way go. Release the worry, the fear, the doomsday thinking. Trust your heart to lead you to new horizons. Your mindset and attitude toward things will dictate the direction they go. So again, if I focus on the positive, if I focus on the love, that's the energy that I'm going to draw in. That's what I'm going to be bringing in. And so that's really a lot of what I've been practicing. Really bringing that into into my day-to-day. Not getting caught up in ranting and raving about how unjust the world is or anything. If I'm focusing on the bad, if I'm focusing on the negative, if I'm focusing on, oh shit about this, that, or the other, well, that's kind of the energy that I'm building, that's the energy that I'm feeding, and that's what I'm going to keep bringing in. And so this is a lot of stop, reassess, follow your joy, let go of the worry, And so with the number here, it says take time to eliminate all that's blocking your joy. Follow what makes your heart dance. And so what's funny is that's kind of why I started doing these videos, is because for me to share my journey it's been such a wonderful thing. I have some amazing soul sisters out there who, we share our journey together, and it's beautiful because so much of what we go through parallels. Our stories are different, our circumstances are kind of different, but the energies and the beliefs and the, all of that we're working on either letting go of or building, those are aligned. And so when we come together and we talk about it, when we share with one another, we gain new perspectives, and that's my heart in sharing with all of you, is that if I can help you just even have that one little bit that helps to shift a perspective, to move you a little bit more out of the fear and more into love, then I feel like I've done what I've been called to. And so I wrote some more here, and I said, fix your mind on that which feeds joy and happiness. Let your attitude be one of faith and trust. This is the new pattern, one of love instead of fear. When you consider your next steps, do so from the heart. Let love guide your thoughts and attitudes as you allow the old thoughts and attitudes go out with the changing of tides. Standing firmly in new beliefs requires you to adapt and flow with those tides. Your footing is there. Feel it. You are secure. You are safe. Move forward thinking and feeling joy, and watch how miraculously your steps unfold. And it's there's so many feels here for me, because the reality is too, and even in my just sort of my brain dump journaling this morning, I'm like, there's still moments, or there's still a part of me that if I give that part free rein, I can easily step into a space of ranting and raving about how my former job and bosses and everything, did me wrong, and how I was cheated out of this, that, or the other, blah, 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 blah. But then I realized, like, no, because that's not the focus that I want. And if I switch my focus and move it into love, I can look back and be like, man, this last year and a half I have grown so much. I have learned so much about myself, about who I am and who I want to be, and how I want to be, how I want to be in the world, how I want to interact with my family, how I want to, be a voice and a space of love, of comfort, of compassion. I don't want to be like the majority of the world. I want to be different, and I want to live that rebel heart, and this last year and a half has really taught me a lot about what it means to do that, and I didn't always do it so well. I did have a good chunk of time in there where I ended up very depressed, and I had to deal with that too. I had to look at myself and kind of reassess the relationship I held with my depression. What do I do with this? How do I recognize it? What are the things that I need to do to kind of help nurture myself so that I don't get stuck, which is important. And so, so anyways, was kind of my moon journey, my moon process, of kind of getting my theme cards and then pulling my card a week to see where's my focus that week and how can I bring these things into my life so that I can move forward in flow, move forward, honoring the cycles, honoring the ups and downs, and honoring just everything that life brings. It's not static. You know, we're always moving, we're always changing, we're always evolving, and so is everything around us. And when we really own that, especially within ourselves, I feel like that's when we can really make those big strides forward and move out of those places that keep us stuck. So I hope you got something good from that. If you're ever curious about wanting to bring this practice into your own life, hit me up and I'll share with you. So I hope you have a wonderful, amazing, magical day, and let's see what this next new moon and moon cycles bring for us this next month. Have a beautiful one. Bye.